We want to take a moment to welcome everyone to the Watch This Shit podcast. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. My name is Seneca, the movie professor, and today I have my collaborator and cooperator here, Young Sam. Go ahead, introduce yourself, bro.
Hey, it's Young Sam, aka the movie apprentice.
And with this podcast, we're going to give you the definitive decision on whether you should go see a new movie or not. It's real easy. If we say, watch this shit, go out and enjoy some good cinema. If we say, don't watch this shit, avoid it as you would going through the phone of your significant other. Or don't. You can do what you want. It may be fun, or it may see you not being able to sleep or eat for a few weeks until your depression wears off. You don't want to listen to us? You put your life in your own hands. We live in an age of remakes. Sadly, most of them take an uninspired approach to storytelling, just regurgitating the same thing we've already seen, but in a slightly different format. Not doing anything revolutionary with the property, just trying to capitalize on our nostalgia for whatever it is that we're watching, rather than giving a new spin or advancing the narrative. I'm happy to say the reimagining we are going to review today definitely takes a different approach to the formula laid out by its predecessor. It didn't take the Avatar: The Last Airbender route and just give us a worse version of the same thing that we've already had. Today's entry sought to give us something new. We'll be reviewing Mr. and Mrs. Smith, What Happens When Married People Work at the Same Job. The original Mr. and Mrs. Smith was a film starring Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. The two leads had so much chemistry, it created a whole celebrity couple that people could follow the exploits of in the real world for years. Now, this one comes from the mind of one of the most creative geniuses of our time. I'll get more in depth on that in a moment, but let's discuss the story before I get sidetracked. Just as the original movie, the series sees us following the lives of a married couple that does spy shit together. Going a layer deeper, the show provides more context on the circumstances of how this pairing came to be. A shady corporation pairs up couples with the cover of being in a real marriage. They are then provided missions. Oh shit, I didn't even think about this. Kind of like Inspector Gadget. They they must succeed in these missions. When they reach a certain number of failures, they will suffer penalties. In the line of work they're in, you can be sure the penalty is death. Can the couple work together to accomplish their missions? Will they fall in love and abandon the company altogether? Or will their job tear them apart, forcing them to divorce each other to death? The series has a lot of the same setup as the movie. Where it diverges from the film is in the way the story is told. The spy stuff takes a back seat. Get back there, buckle up. We'll see you later. Yeah, there is action and missions, but sometimes we don't even get to see the mission. Those things are only used to move the story forward. The primary focus of this piece is the relationship between the leads. Not even that. The primary focus is the stages that many relationships take. I think that is what helped me connect so much to the story. As a person that has been in all sorts of pairings, this series spoke to me. Seeing a fictional retelling, a hyper-focused look at the different events that can define a marriage was eerily familiar. Young Sam and myself, we had a conversation about it. The way the show divides the events of a marriage into its episodes is brilliant. Once you see what the vision of the show is, it becomes apparent. This isn't an action drama. It's a drama with action thrown in to enhance the drama. I am a huge fan of Donald Glover in all his personas. The actor, comedian, rapper, singer, dancer, and most importantly, the writer. He has done fantastic things for television. His acting in Community, top tier. RIP Community, gone too soon, and definitely unappreciated. Atlanta, one of the most brilliant shows created in my lifetime. I won't lie, I like most of his projects, but I'm not so enamored with any star that I can't objectively judge their work for what it is. He has done some things that I didn't like. The short film with Rihanna, trash. Part of it was because Rihanna's amazing ass is a horrible actor. So, anyway, when experiencing his art, I go in believing it will be great, but fully aware you're only funky as your last cut. 3 Stacks taught us that. Now he is the leading force on Mr. and Mrs. Smith, one of the leads and co-creator of the series. He is probably the one that is carrying the most weight of this project on his shoulders. Thankfully, he was up to the task. The writing was smart, his acting was great, and the themes are interesting. I don't have any negatives on Mr. Glover's performance. The other half of the equation, the Mrs. Smith side, honestly, she may have had a harder time than anyone else in the cast. Maya Erskine plays Jane, and it's not just because I'm a male that I'm on John's side of most of their arguments. It's because her character is very Asbo. She is not good with human interactions in any capacity. The fact that she plays the part well makes her unlikable most of the time. She's one of those I like animals better than people. There are hints that she may be on the spectrum or a sociopath, but what matters most is that she sticks to that character. There are moments when she shows signs of how much she really cares for her partner. And you can see that it's not just something that comes natural for her to be able to express that. She struggles to get those feelings to the surface. Not an easy role, but necessary for the conflicts. The way an argument is written is usually the person that's writing it will make it impossible for a reasonable person to say they were the party that was in the wrong. The way it's played here, she may be wrong in the way she's handling any situation, but we get to learn the possible reason for why she acts the way she does, which is very important. Motivation is key for any antagonistic relationship. I don't want to do it. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking do it. Godzilla -0, I'm looking at you. We don't have motivation for your fucking villain. My favorite part of this series is the structure. Each episode carries the themes of steps in the progression of a marriage. You have the meet cute, first sex session, honeymoon, hanging out with other couples, having kiddos, therapy, infidelity, and divorce. The show puts this on a sped up timeline and dedicates an episode to each. I didn't look at the episode titles until after I viewed the season, but most of them flat out say what the theme of that part of the show is. I kind of wish they hadn't. Not that people are just going to go to the menu and look at the episode names, but I would prefer they let people figure out what the message is. It's not well hidden, so most people will likely pick up on it, especially when they get to my favorite episode of the bunch, episode 5. That's where we have a kid episode. It guest starring Ron Perlman, who was the kid. That's funny because he's old as hell. Anyway, when you see it, you'll see it. This episode is also where my favorite lines come from. Boy, if you don't put your foot on that goddamn ground, that had me rolling. I was watching that part, and my wife, she wasn't even paying attention. She was fucking around in the kitchen or whatever. But when she heard that, she laughed out loud as well, without any context of what was going on. The comedic timing, the situation, the reactions, damn, that was good. My favorite part of the show. All right, let's bring Young Sam into the discussion. Young Sam, what was your first impression of the series?
My first impression was when I was looking at it, I was kind of just struggling, not really struggling to understand, but I was just questioning like why it's going, like why are they doing all this? But then when we had the discussion about it being a relationship, everything just clicked. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this makes more sense, and it became more interesting.
Mm-hmm. No, I feel that when I saw the initial trail, no, fuck that. When further back, when I heard about it, I had the same thing that you said. Why are they doing this? The movie was just okay for the time. No need to bring anything about it, bring it back. Then I heard Glover was attached, and I got interested real fast. After watching it, I'm glad they did what they did and how they took a different approach. Which brings me to the next question. Were you okay with it being less action and more drama?
Kind of. I would say yeah, because the the action scenes for me, while they were kind of okay, I felt like if they would have put more action in it, it would have made it worse because the action scenes weren't that good.
It wasn't the strong point.
So it would have brought down the quality of it. So I like the drama. It gave Glover some time to, kind of show his range a little bit. And it gave a chance for Jane, I forget her name,
Maya
to try to act or try to, like you said, get into character, it seems like.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. For me, it's really dependent on the property. You don't want something like John Wick being drama.
No.
You there for the action. But here I thought it made sense to focus on the drama. This is really, really something that you could watch with a significant other. The selective use of action scenes, it made it better for me. Like you said, they wasn't the strongest, so you put more of them in, it's not gonna be better. I would, but more importantly for me, I was more interested in the arguments they had, the marital arguments. When you fight in a relationship, nobody wins. Even if the other person drops it or pretends like they agree with your side of the argument, depending on the size and scope, that can slowly create an expanding space between lovers.
Mhm.
Do you think Mrs. Smith is on the spectrum or just a bad girlfriend or wife?
Ooh, Mrs. Smith, I would say I think, what is it,
Like
psychosocial?
a sociopath or
Sociopath,
uh
yeah. I just think she was just a sociopath. I
okay.
mean,
Hmm.
I don't think she was on the spectrum or anything.
So I guess I'm on the other side of that. The reason I believe that she had so much trouble with human interactions, but was so good at her job is because she may be neurodivergent. Because it's not just John. She is completely separate from everybody in her life, her dad most specifically. And that's why they play up the relationship between John and his mom so much to show that comparison. Try to bring up more
Mm.
emphasis on how being in a relationship with someone different than when most people would consider is normal is hard.
Wasn't her dad in, like, the army or CIA or something?
I don't remember them saying that, but it might be. I watched it a few weeks ago. See, he may have been, but they never. But they she never interacts with him in the show. But speaking of people in the show, who was your favorite guest star?
Favorite guest star, it had been Ron Perlman.
Oh yeah.
It's his act as the child. I think it was pretty spot on. It kind of showed not his range a little bit, because I've always seen him as a serious character.
Uh
Everything I've
huh.
seen him in, he's always serious. But
Serious
in
tough guy
here,
type dude. Yep.
yeah, he kind of, in the beginning he was, but then as it went on, he just kind of just slowly just went into kid mode.
Yeah. You can see how vulnerable he is.
Mm-hmm.
Like he needs to be taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Perlman, yeah, I agree. Perlman, of course, that's my favorite character because that was my favorite episode. But I also like the weird looking chick from Chewing Gum. I don't know her name. She was the one from the infidelity episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Okay, I
talking
know what
about.
you're
She
talking
played in Chewing
about.
Gum. She played in a couple other things, but she's a British actor, and she has
Mm-hmm.
such a weird face. She's beautiful. She's fucking beautiful, but she's so
Yeah.
weird looking, like an alien. She looks like she's nice anyway. When she has the scene with Jane, where Jane has the gun on her, and they're having
Mm-hmm.
that conversation, you can see hints. After I watched it again, the first time I saw it, I thought she was scared. I didn't understand what was happening. But when I looked at it again, it looked like she was constantly looking for an opportunity to strike. She was acting her ass off with that weird ass face. Oh my god. It fascinates me. I don't Listeners and viewers, when people have those weird alien looking faces, it just amazes me. Like they don't look human. They look like what aliens would believe humans look like, and then they should like be able to open up the face and a little alien be in there like Men in Black. I'm a fan of ambiguous endings. If this series doesn't come back, young Sam, would it be okay with you, or would you feel unsatisfied by the finale?
Oh, I would feel unsatisfied because in the beginning, I didn't really care for the couple, but then towards the end, you're like, man, I hope they stay together. Stick it out, you know. And the way it ended, I'm just like, I'll never know what happened.
You'll never fucking know.
I'll never know, and that just pisses me off. It's like they wrote it because I don't know if they wrote it intentionally knowing that this was not going to have a season 2 or what.
Is it confirmed that it won't be a season 2?
I haven't read anything
Okay.
about it, but
Yeah. His schedule is so packed, typically for the most part, that he has to plan things out. Like that's why Atlanta took so long because he had other stuff to do. He's supposed to be doing a Lando TV show or something.
so we'll
So
get a season 2 in 6 years.
maybe Hopefully. Hopefully. I wouldn't even be mad if they did another season, but it started another Mr. and Mrs. Smith and just had them as
Hmm.
cameos. I would be cool with that. I'd be real cool
But
with
they need
that.
to be the same thing.
No, it would be well, so remember when it opened, it had, Skarsgård and whoever that hot Asian chick is as the
She's
Mr.
not
and
Asian,
Mrs.
she
Smith.
is Mexican.
She was Mexican? Oh, okay, no wonder I liked
That's the
her.
chick from Baby Driver.
That was the chick from Baby Driver, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I like her. I like her a lot. Baby Driver's an amazing movie, we need to review that shit. But no, yeah, so at the beginning, right, they had that Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and then during the show, the couple they met, there was another Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So I think you could still do it and take a different spin on it. Maybe it's a couple who really does like each other, or maybe
Mm.
it's a Mrs. Smith and Mrs. Smith that they like that
Oh, yeah.
shit. Yeah, see, just don't do Mr. and Mr. I would
So, yeah,
be
there's
uninterested in
some
watching
angles.
that.
There's some angles that you can take for
Mhm.
this, so
Yeah, but back
but
to
he would still have to write it, though.
oh, hell yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. If anybody else write it, I'm out. I'm not watching it. If
Mm.
anybody else write it and he's not in it, I'm not watching it. I think I like the ending because I was the kid that read those choose your own adventure books. That possibly has something to do with me liking those hard cliffhanger endings. I don't really need a resolution like Inception, which I was talking to a friend about last week, the true meaning of it. I don't remember. Have we ever discussed the meaning of Inception?
Well, there's something about the movie theaters.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Mm.
the cool thing about Inception is the ending doesn't matter because what the film is really about is about the shared experience of watching movies. Watching movies together is the closest we can come to a shared dream. We're all awake, but we're seeing the same images at the same time. When you look at it from that perspective, it doesn't matter if the top falls over or not. It's about the journey. So, similar to that, I feel like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, because they give you that hard cliffhanger ending, it's more about what do you think happened?
I think the motherfuckers got shot.
You think so? Okay. I think they made it. But that's also based and predicated upon my hope that a lot of my relationships make it, right? That a lot of my
Mm.
friends, yeah, work out in the end. I think
Mm.
that's what drives that.
It's deeper than rap.
Right. You got anything else you want to hit before we get out of here?
I would definitely say this is a couple series. This is something that you can, if you got a significant other, you can definitely watch it. And if you look at it from the relationship aspect, you can definitely relate to a lot of episodes. It'll make you start making you think about your relationship and shit you did in the past. So yeah, I would say definitely watch this.
All right. Same page. We are on the same page. You almost said exactly what I wrote word for word. Watch this shit. Yes. It's a great show to watch with your significant other. And like you said, it will make you think about some that you lost or some relationships that you threw away. It's a rom-com. That's what it is. It's a rom-com. You can tell it's written from a perspective of someone who has issues in relationship and they wanted to use this to exercise that. But it doesn't turn into a personal therapy session like Bo is Afraid did. Even though there is a therapy episode. But that's because so many people have experienced the situations like this that they can relate to. Bo is Afraid was so individually specific to that dude, to the person that wrote that script. Like, I don't care about your mom issues, dog. I love my mom. Show me a good movie. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, another like as you watch it, just pay attention to the actors and how they act towards each other, and you'll kind of start looking at things. Especially the therapy episode. That was a really good one as far as character development and body language. It was. It was. I was like, damn, this is really good. It's almost like
deep.
Yeah, very deep.
All right, there we go. Thank you for listening to another episode of Watch This Shit. You come here for the realest take on new movies. So make sure you follow us so you're not left in the dark on whether you should check out a movie or not, or a show. If you haven't seen this shit yet, what the fuck are you waiting for? We told you what to do. Now it's up to you to go do it. Check us out next time when we review Kung Fu Panda 2. 4. 2, 3, 4, whatever. 4. And good day to you.